Police Inspector Ochumilov, wearing a new uniform and carrying a bundle in his hand, is crossing the marketplace. Behind him strides a red-headed policeman with a sieve that is filled to the brim with confiscated gooseberries. Silence reigns. Not a soul on the square. The open doors of shops and taverns look out on God's world dejectedly, like hungry jaws. Not even a beggar is to be seen about them. So you bite, do you, you devil? Ochumilov hears suddenly. Don't let her get away, fellows. It's against the law to bite nowadays. Hold her. Ah! A canine squeal is heard. Ochumilov looks about and sees a dog dash out of Merchant Pichugin's lumber yard, limping on 3 legs and looking behind it as it runs. It is being chased by a man in a starched cotton shirt with his vest unbuttoned. He dashes after it, throwing himself forward, drops to the ground, and seizes the dog by its hind legs. The canine squeal sounds again, and the cry, "Don't let her get away!" Sleepy faces appear in the doorways of the shops, and soon, as though it had sprung out of the ground, a crowd gathers near the lumber yard. "Looks like trouble, Your Honor," says the policeman. Ochumilov makes a half turn to the left and strides toward the crowd. At the very gates of the lumber yard, he sees the man with the unbuttoned vest described above, holding up his right hand and showing the crowd a bleeding finger. On his rather groggy-looking face is written, as it were, "I let you have it, you brute," and his very finger looks like the banner of victory. Ochumilov recognizes Rukin, the goldsmith. In the center of the crowd crouches the culprit responsible for the scandal, a white borzoi puppy with a pointed muzzle and a yellow spot on its back, its 4 paws spread out and trembling all over. There is an expression of anguish and terror in its moist eyes. "What's going on here?" demands Ochumilov, shouldering his way through the crowd. "What's it about? What's that finger? Who was hollering?" "Here I'm on my way, Your Honor," begins Rukin, coughing into his fist, "to talk to Mitri Mitrich about firewood, not harming a soul. And all at once, this nasty creature, for no reason at all, snaps at my finger. Excuse me, but I'm a man what works, and mine's delicate work. They've got to pay me damages. Maybe it'll be a week before I can move this finger again. It don't say in the law that you must put up with injury from a beast. If they're all going to bite, there'll be no living." Right, says Ochumilov severely, clearing his throat and knitting his eyebrows. Right. Whose dog is it? I won't stand for this. I'll teach you to let your dogs run wide. It's time we took notice of these people who won't obey regulations. When he's fined, the scamp, he'll know, thanks to me, what a dog is, and other stray cattle. I'll show him what's what. Ellerin, he turns to the policeman, find out whose dog it is and draw up a report. As for the dog, she must be done away with at once. She's sure to be mad. Whose dog is it, I ask you? Could be General Zigalab's, says someone in the crowd. General Zigalab's? Ellerin, help me off with my coat. It's terribly hot. Guess it's going to rain. There's just one thing I can't make out. How could she possibly bite you? Chameleo turns to Rukin. How could she reach your finger? She's a little bit of a thing, and you are a big husky. You must have scratched your finger on a nail, and you got it into your head to blame it on the dog. I know your sort. I know you devils. He poked a cigarette into its snout, Your Honor, for fun, and the dog's no fool. She snapped at him. He is an ugly customer, Your Honor. You are lying, you with the one eye. You didn't see it, so why tell lies about it? His Honor is an intelligent gentleman. His Honor knows the difference between a liar and an honest man who speaks God's truth. And if it's me that's lying, let the justice of the peace decide. He knows what the law says. We are all equal nowadays. My own brother's a gendarme, if you want to know. None of your lip, says the police inspector. No, it's not the general's, observes the policeman thoughtfully. The general ain't got none like this. He's got mostly setters. Are you sure about that? Sure, Your Honor. Of course, I know. The general's dogs are all thoroughbreds and worth a lot of money, and this is some kind of mutt. No points, no looks, just a mean tyke. The idea of keeping a dog like that. Where's your brains? If a dog like that turned up in Petersburg or Moscow, do you know what would happen? They wouldn't think twice about the law. To the pound with it. Rukin, you are the injured party, and don't you drop the case. They have got to be taught a lesson. High time. But maybe she is the general's. The policeman thinks out loud. It ain't written on her snout. The other day I saw one just like her in the general's courtyard. Sure, she's the general's, says a voice from the crowd. Help me on with my coat, Brother Ellerin. It's blowing up, getting chilly. You take the dog to the general and make inquiries. Tell him I was the one that found her and saw he got her back, and tell them there to keep her off the street. It may be a valuable dog, and if every swine pokes his cigarette into her snout, she may get damaged. A dog is a delicate creature. And you blockhead, put your hand down. What's the sense of sticking up your silly finger? It's your own fault. There's the general's cook. Let's ask him. Hey, Prohor, come here, brother. Look at this dog. Is that yours? Nonsense. We never had no such dogs. No need to ask questions, says Ochumelov. She's a stray. No use talking about it. I said she was a stray, and she is a stray. To the pound with her, and that's all. She's not one of ours, Prohor continues. She belongs to the general's brother. He came a few days ago. Our general don't fancy borzois, but His Excellency's brother, he likes 'em. You don't mean to say His Excellency's brother is here? Vladimir Ivanitch? Asks Ochumelov, and a smile of exultation suffuses his face. Good Lord, and I didn't know. Has the dear man come on a visit? Yes, on a visit. Good Lord. So the dear man got lonesome for his brother. And to think I didn't know. So the little dog belongs to His Excellency's brother. I'm mighty glad. Take her. She's not a bad little dog. So smart. Snapped at that fellow's finger. Ha ha ha. What are you shaking about, puppy? Grr, grr. The rascal's cross, the little pet. Prohor calls the dog and leaves the lumber yard with it. The crowd howls at Rukin. I'll get you yet, Ochumelov threatens him, and wrapping his coat about him, continues his way across the marketplace.